side so that
yeah, so again, hello everyone. We are happy to have you with us.
Okay, great. Thank you for
just one thing regarding the translation, because we will be having Arabic and English. You can just switch the globe from English to Arabic as per the channel. And the main channel, the main one will be in English. Thank you.
Okay. For some people, like for me, I can't on my Zoom, I can't see the globe, but there is 3 little dots and it says more. And when I click on that, then it shows me the option of choosing which language channel I want to go for. So for some of you, it might also, I think it depends on what version of Zoom you're using. But again, if you have any difficulties with that, then please feel free to message Mira. Her name isn't showing on the screen. It just says Joint Learning Initiative. So that's Mira. Or you can message me, and my name is on here. Okay, so with the logistics and technicalities out of the way, we can then start the meeting, I suppose. And I would like to start it with a really warm welcome from all of us at JLI. We're really, really happy to be here with all of you. We're really happy to see so many of you join the meeting now. As I mentioned earlier, we also know that we always have quite a few colleagues who cannot make the meeting on the day, but then they catch up on the recording later, which will be available on the JLI website. So greetings to them as well, even if they won't be joining us until much later. My name is Jennifer Philippa Eggert. I'm Senior Research and Programs Associate at the JLI. The JLI, for those of you who don't know it, we are an international collaboration, a network of researchers, practitioners, policymakers, and community members who all have a shared interest in the role of religion in international development, humanitarian action, peace building, or really any kind of work that is aimed at improving the lives of communities. So that's what we do. We're not a religious organization, we're a research organization. So what we do is we produce and we share research on these topics. And one topic in particular that we have been very interested in the last few years is the question of monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning with a focus on religion. So with a focus on how can we measure success, how can we share learning, and how can we monitor the activities, our activities when we work with or as religious actors, or when we want to make sure that our work is sensitive to questions of religion. So this is a topic we've been interested in for quite a while. In 2019, so around 5 years ago, a group of JLI members set up what we call
كان هناك أعضاء في JLI قاموا بتأسيس منتدى لتشاطر المعرفة
evaluation, accountability, and learning, and faith. And Shared Learning Hub is a structure that we work with a lot at JLI. So it's just a group. You could call it a working group as well, or you could say it's a peer learning platform. So it's basically a group of people from different backgrounds, research, practice, communities, policy, who all have a shared interest in a topic. So we set up the Meal and Faith Learning Hub around 5 years ago. And since then, this group of people, and we've had new people join us and old people leave again. So it's quite an informal group group of people. So since the hub was set up, we have been working on questions of faith, and we published in 21. I think we need to mute some. Okay, sorry about
Would
that.
you please tell them to mute the microphone?
So yeah, I think I just muted her.
Okay, thank
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. So in 2021, we published a compendium on meal and faith. So this was a publication where we discussed some of the challenges and opportunities in the area of meal and faith. And we also had some case studies in there of different organizations of different faith backgrounds and no faith backgrounds from around the world, who all shared how they do faith responsive meal. And one of the findings of that piece of research back then was that there's actually a gap in terms of evidence on meal and faith in the region of the Middle East. We then had a donor who was interested in funding this kind of work. So this was Islamic Relief USA, who very kindly agreed to fund a regional learning hub that would focus on meal and faith in the Middle East. And this work started recently. The Meal and Faith Hub was first coordinated by our colleague Zeynep Shamoun from Lebanon. Zeynep left us then last year, and we since then we have been working with Mira Naime, who is still coordinating the hub now, and both Zeynep and Mira are from Lebanon. Mira is now based in Egypt. So this is also something that's quite important for us. We wanted, the regional hubs is also a new development in JLI. We want to give development, humanitarian, peace building, and community actors from the region. We want to give them space to share knowledge, to produce knowledge, and to learn in spaces that are protected for them. Because before that, we had an issue at JLI, just as you have it in the rest of the development sector, really, that you have spaces that in principle are open to anyone, but in practice, you will then often have people from the global north and white people and English-speaking people, and often also people from either big international NGOs or from universities. You will always often have them dominate these spaces. And we said that is work that we have been doing and that we still do. We engage with people at global, regional, and local level, but we want to prioritize the work with local and regional partners more and give them space to really shape their research agendas, right? Rather than having people from the West, people from the global North decide for people in the Middle East. So that was the idea behind it. This was why the Middle East Meal Hub was then set up. And just like the global Meal Hub, it also focused on question of meal and faith. So in a nutshell, that's the background, and that's why we also be really beneficial for the existed and parallel to each other for the last few years, right? We really wanted to bring them together and give colleagues from the global hub an opportunity to learn from the colleagues in the Middle East and vice versa. So yeah, what we wanted to do now is we thought it would be good to just do some quick introductions so that we know who's in the room. If that's okay with everyone, we'll just ask you to just say a few words about where you're based, if you are affiliated with an organization. That would be really great, just so that we can get to know each other a little better. So shall we just go through the room? I see Michelle, you're top of on the screen, top left. Do you just want to unmute yourself and just say a few words about who you are and what work you do?
My name is Michelle Garrett, and I'm based in Seattle in the USA. I lead Ripple Peace Research and Consulting, and I'm happy to be part of the co-chair team for the Global Meal Hub. I'm excited to learn from you all today.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And Michelle was also involved in the very beginning with the hub. So she's co-chair now, but back in 2019, she was also involved in setting the Global Meal Hub up. I have Nidal next. Nidal, would you also like to introduce yourself?
This is Nidal Kamal. I work with Islamic Relief USA, based in Washington, D.C. I'm the lead results and learning specialist, working with Kunal. Nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Nidal. So nice to meet you. I then have Nobuyuki.
Oh, hello. Good morning and good evening. I'm Nobuyuki. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you. I'm Nobuyuki Asai from Soka Gakkai International. It's an international Buddhist network, and I'm based in Tokyo, Japan. Thank you.
Thank you, Nobuyuki. So we were speaking about our colleagues in Japan having to join very late. So that must be Nobuyuki now. We then have Konul.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Konul. I'm also part of JLI now, as happy to be part of co-chair team. I'm representing Islamic Relief USA, and I've been managing the team of meal stuff, if I can say so, for the last few months now. Happy to be part of this meeting. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Konul. I have Mohammed next, Mohammed Abu Hilal.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Mohammed Abu Hilal. I'm a Syrian psychiatrist living in Turkey, representing Zero Bright Future, and I am co-chair of Middle East Hub. Happy to be with you and to learn together, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. I then have Masaki.
Hello. Hello, my name is Masaki. I'm based in Amman, but I had been in Lebanon for 3 years, and also I'm really curious about international, inter-religious dynamic in Middle East. Nice to meet you. I'm first to be here, so I would like to know each other. Yeah, good to see you.
Thank you so much, Masaki. So nice to meet you too. And then there is Louis Marcos Ayub.
مساء الخير جميعا. أنا لويس من العراق.
Hello everyone, I am from Iraq. I work in Hammurabi for human rights ever since 2005 to date.
ناشط في مجال الأقليات العراقية.
I am active working on minorities in Iraq, and I have established several networks of collaboration inside of Iraq and abroad, including the Minorities Network and Ibn Rushd Network for the civilian state, and also the Justice Network for IGD survivors in Iraq.
Thank you so much, Louis, and welcome. Welcome. I then have Noor Nabhan.
يسعد مساكم جميعا. أنا نور نبهان من سوريا وأقيم حاليا فيها.
Hello everyone, I am from Syria. I work with the كفاءات group and I work on meal and monitoring in a humanitarian organization.
Thank you, Noor. Welcome. Then there is Sausan.
مساء الخير.
Hello.
مشتاقة لكم.
I
أني
miss you
سوسن
all.
من العراق.
My name is Sausan from Iraq. I am a chairperson of a human rights and democratic organization, and also I'm a trainer in the field of human rights and resolution 1325. And I am a member of Women Network. I am here from the beginning till the end.
Thank you so much, Sausan. We're so happy to see you here today. Thank you so much. There's Yasir.
شكرا، سعيدة بتواجدي وياكم.
I am so happy to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sausan. And then there's Yasir Jassim.
نعم، وسهلا بكم. ياسر جاسم من العراق.
So I am Yasser Al-Jassim from Iraq. I am also part of the Human Rights and Democracy Organization. I also work on drafting projects. I am head of a volunteering team working in several fields, including development, environment, and also advocacy for women.
شكرا لكم.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yasir. So nice to meet you, and thank you. So we've been around the world a little bit. We'll go back to Europe now, to Rian, who is based in the Netherlands, I think.
Well, I'm today joining you from Spain because I'm currently houseless. Because actually, hopefully later in the year, we're starting green faith-based retreat and dialogue center, and for that, I had to sell my house, etc. So I'm currently brushing up on my Spanish. But yeah, I'm an independent interdisciplinary consultant. Many years in the humanitarian side of things, but now more trying on the sustainable development prevention side of things. And I've heard Islamic Relief mentioned several times. I indeed worked for Islamic Relief worldwide for 10 years. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Rian. So nice to have you here. And I see there's another Mohammed who has joined us, Mohammed Salim. Would you also like to introduce yourself and just say where in the world you are based and which organization you work for, if you work with any organization?
مرحبا، أنا محمد سليم
Hello,
خضر.
I am Mohammed Salim Khuder from Syria.
مقيم بمدينة إدلب.
I live in Idlib in Syria.
مؤهل العلمي إجازي في الشريعة والقانون.
I work on Sharia and law, or I have a master in Sharia and law. I am a director of the Reform Family Office.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And you're also very welcome, Mohammed. It's so nice, to meet all of you and to see the diversity in this group. This is fantastic. I will now hand over to to Mohammed Abu Hilal, because we will... can someone explain to Mohammed Salim that how to choose the translation channels?
والنت عنا متقطع النت.
أستاذ محمد
he's having problem with his connection.
يشارك كرة أرضية بيس عليها
يشارك كرة أرضية.
كرة أرضية تمام.
ما
دائرة مثل دائرة مخططة، دائرة مخططة.
لحظة شوي.
موجودة عندك؟ وسكر الكاميرا مشان الصوت، مشان يكون أوضح.
يلا
أي.
يلا دقيقة
ففي عندك دائرة كبس عليها بيطلع لك خيارات، حط على
We
العربي.
cannot see the globe or the three dots.
مش الحال؟ طيب خلي
مش الحال لا.
تمام يلا.
So now it's
بس
working, yes.
سكر الكاميرا والمايك. شكرا.
يلا.
Okay, let's.
Okay, Jennifer, yours.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, sorry about. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you. I'm glad that
Thank you.
worked. Yeah.
Jennifer, sorry to cut you
No
off.
problem.
Nadal, this is Nadal. You're breaking up. I don't know if it's only me or.
Okay, sorry about that. I've turned my camera off. I hope it's better now. Sorry about that. It must be my connection. Okay, I saw. Thank you, Nidal. I saw that Mohammed Al-Kasabi has also joined us in the meantime. Mohammed, you haven't missed much. We're just doing introductions. Would you also just like to briefly introduce yourselves, say where in the world you are based and which organization you are affiliated with?
Okay, so I just jumped off another meeting. Hi everybody, my name is Mohammed Al-Kasabi. I'm a research fellow in mental health. I'm based at London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. So yeah, my interest is mainly research in emergency contexts. Nice to meet you all.
Great, thank you so much, Mohammed, and good to see you too. All right, so now over to Mohammed Abu Hilal. There's so many Mohammeds in this meeting. This is when you have meeting with colleagues in the Middle East. There's an abundance of Mohammeds. It's lovely. And you're also welcome to the meeting. So over to Mohammed Abu Hilal to start our to just start the reflections. We said we're going to have some time for reflections now for colleagues from the Middle East, Meal and Faith Hub. I think, Mohammed, you volunteered to start. So it would be lovely just to hear from you. The hub has been working for quite some time now. You have been very involved as one of the co-chairs. Can you please just share your reflections with us?
Yeah, actually, we have only maybe 30 minutes, so we need to go into the topic. So we have like more than 2 years now involved in this hub, and we had several meetings with the people from the 4 countries that involved in the hub, and we had discussed actually a lot of ideas about the topic. And also we had the chance to receive some training around mental health, around monitoring and evaluation with faith. And also we had some challenges that has some interruption in the meetings. So we had this unfortunate circumstances. But this year we were able actually to have a physical meeting where we able actually to regather and reconnect and also to work toward finalizing the first guideline. And now we're planning to do another 2 guidelines. I want to actually to raise some ideas or questions or topics actually that I felt during this journey. First, there was a challenge that faith actors has different issues to deal with. So when we try to discuss the specific topic of monitoring and evaluation with faith actors, there's a lot of topics related to faith that is coming in the discussion. So this is one of the maybe challenges. The other point is that many has said, why did we start with the monitoring and evaluation and we didn't start with the bigger topic of project management, for example. So why did we choose this narrow specification of the work? So there was always this discussions to try to focus on these two things, specifically about monitoring and evaluation with faith actors. We have also a third thing that maybe want to discuss is what the definition of faith actors actually, because there's different maybe definitions. There's many organizations who have faith motivation, but they don't call themselves as faith actors. And this is not only because voluntarily they choose not to do that, but also labeling some organization as a faith actors means in the context that they may lose funds, right? Because they could be excluded from the funds. Especially like I want to talk about specifically Syria, where if you say Islamic organizations, it can be connected with all the problems that happened in our area. So this is also one of the challenges, how we define faith actors. This is quickly 3 points that I thought that maybe we can discuss. And I don't know, Jennifer, how you want to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. And also thank you for sharing your reflections, but also thank you for reminding us of the very difficult circumstances that the hub has had to work with. So I also don't want that to get lost in our conversations here, right? So we started the work with the hub, and then a few months into the work, we actually we had to. There was a major disruption when the earthquake in Turkey and Syria in early 2023 struck the region, and several of our hub members were directly affected. That I mean, the effects of the earthquake could even be felt in Lebanon, but we actually had hub members who were displaced due to the earthquake. We then have, since last October, obviously had the ongoing aggression against Gaza by Israel, which also has repercussions in the region. We know that Lebanon has been under bombardment for several months now, and this has also affected several of the hub members and the work of the hub, as well, obviously, as ongoing internal crises in Iraq and Lebanon. So I think this is also really a testament to the strength and the courage and the resilience of the hub members, right? That they've managed to continue doing really important and meaningful work with the hub and with their own organizations, despite these very, very difficult circumstances. So yeah, we have, in terms of the hub members' reflections, we then have our colleague Louis up next, who also volunteered to share some of his thoughts about the learnings from the hub work. So Louis, over to you, and thank you so much.
شكرا جزيلا لكل الزملاء اللي انضموا أخيرا معنا.
Thank you so much to all our colleagues. The Hammurabi Human Rights Organization has joined the hub 2 years ago. It sees that such a hub is quite important, especially in the Middle East, especially and particularly because in our organization we have a special department for studies and research related to extremism and migration, and because of extremism and migration in the Arab world, and because of the missing of main components in our countries, especially in Iraq, where Christians are becoming a minority ever since 2003 because of extremism, and because of the policies, laws, and legislations in this country.
التحديات التي يعني
Also,
نراها
we are
نحن
facing
في
a lot of
المنتدى
challenges,
وأولا أن
especially in the hub. Our
وأنا أتكلم
countries,
العراق لديه
and here I am talking
إمكانيات
about
مادية
Iraq, have
هائلة لكن لا يوجد
huge financial
من قبل
capacities.
الحكومة دعم
However, the
لهكذا
government is
المؤسسات
not supporting such
منظمات أو
institutions
منتديات
or
تعمل من أجل
organizations or
تحقيق
even hubs that
شيء
are working to achieve
يعني
something
يسمو تسويق كثير من الأفكار وإزالة كثير من العقد
and
النفسية
so
وتغيير
achieve
التصورات.
something that can
لذلك
overcome a
هذا واحد
lot of
التحديات
problems.
نلجأ
And this is
أحيانا كثيرة
one
إلى
main
المؤسسات
challenge.
الدولية من
That
أجل
is
إيجاد
why we
تمويل
resort to
لمشاريعنا
international
التي تبحث في
organizations in order
تحقيق
to
حرية الفكر وحرية
find
المعتقد
financial
والانسجام
support
والتماسك
to our
المجتمعي في مجتمعاتنا
projects in
المتنوعة.
order to achieve
لدينا
social
تجارب
cohesion in
في
our different
إذا يسمح الوقت
communities.
ما أعرف لدينا
And if you
تجربة
allow me, if I
أعتقد
have
فريدة من
time, we
نوعها
have a very
تحدثنا
unique
عنها في
experience
مؤتمر
that we
اسطنبول
have
وأرسلناها
mentioned in
إلى
the Istanbul
المؤتمر.
conference, and we sent it
ممكن
to the conference. Can I talk about it? Do I have time to talk about it?
ممكن يعني نتحدث بها يسمح الوقت لو
Is it
يعني
possible
فقط أنه
if
جواب على
I have
السؤال
time,
المحدد.
or should I only answer your question?
يعني بأقل
No,
من
please,
دقيقة
please go
أتوقع.
ahead.
ما عم يوصلني
Please.
Yes,
صوت. عم
but
تسمعوني؟
in less than 1 minute, please.
Yeah, thank you. يعني ما تعرض إليه منطقة اللي أنا أسكن فيها في محافظة نينوى اللي هي
So
تتميز
I
بالتنوع.
live in Ninwa, and there we have a lot of diversity in
يعني
Ninwa
هي
and
إراق مصغر
Mosul.
من جميع المكونات
It's
الإثنية
where
والعرقية
we have all
والقومية.
ethnical, racial,
وهذه
and
هنا
religious
المحافظة
components
تعرضت عام
in this
2014
governorate in
يعني
2014.
هجمة بربرية من
There
تنظيمات
has
إرهابية
been a
ليس
savage
يعني لم يكن
attack
هناك
from
سلطان عليها.
extremist and
هذه
terrorist
التجربة يعني
groups.
جعلت المدينة
And
المتسامحة
based
التي
on this
كانت منفتحة
experience,
للآخر
this
منغلقة حول
resilient
نفسها
city
ومنغلقة
has
نحو
become
التنوع
closed
بسبب
and
الفكر الإرهابي
rejected
الذي غرس خلال
diversity
3
because
سنوات
of
من أبناء
terrorism
المدينة التي
that
غالبيتها من
has
مكون عربي
been
مسلم سني.
in the
أصبحت
city for several years, and now
المنطقة أو
the
المدينة
region or the
يعني
city
بأفكارها طاردة للتنوع، طاردة
is
للآخر، طاردة
refusing
للتسامح.
diversity, is
هذا الموضوع
refusing
أثار
others.
حفيظة منظمة حمورابي تعمل في هذا
And
المسار.
Hammurabi
وكان
organization
لدينا مشروع
was
مهم جدا
upset
مع أكثر من
about
مؤسسة دولية
that, and
بدأناه
that's why we had a
مع
project
مجموعة
with
من
several
الشباب
international
من طلبة
organizations.
ومن
We
أساتذة
started
جامعيين
working with
عاشوا
the
تجربة
youth,
داعش.
with the
وهذا
university teachers
السؤال
who
يعني
have
عاشوا
witnessed
تجربة داعش 3
ISIS
سنوات وكانوا
for 3
يعني في
years,
دواخل
who had an
أنفسهم
experience
لديهم
with
ثورة
ISIS
على
for
هذا
3
الفكر
years, and they
الظلامي
were revolted
أرادوا أن
against
يكونوا جزءا من
this
عملية الإصلاح
terrorism and
وإعادة
wanted to
المجتمع
be
إلى
part
تماسكه
of the
الأولي. فهون كانت
reform
البذرة
and
الأولى
of
التي
social
بدأنا
cohesion.
بتدريب
We
مجموعة
have
من
started a
هذه
new
النخب
initiative.
قد لا
We
يتعدى
have been
عددها 30
training an
شخصيا ومن ثم
elite
تم
or a group
اختيار
of
20
30
شخص
persons,
أصبحوا
and then
مدربين
we
TOT على
have
حرية الفكر
chosen
والمعتقد.
20 persons
وهذه
to
النواة
become
بدأت
trainers
تتوسع ونحن
themselves.
مستمرين بدعمها.
And we will
شكلت
continue
مؤسسة
to
مقدمة مجتمع
work
مدني
on
خلال
this.
أقل
And
من
now
عامين
we have
وبدأت
one
تتوسع
CSO
في أعمالها داخل
that is
مؤسساتها العلمية
expanding
والثقافية.
inside the
واليوم
scientific,
نمتلك يعني
cultural
أكثر من
institutions, and now we have
500 إلى
more
600
than
عنصر مدرب
500 or
يحمل أفكار
600 trained
متنوعة
persons
نحو موضوع
who
الفكر
have
وحرية الفكر.
clear ideas
بعضهم
about
مدرسين في
freedom of
مؤسسات تربوية
thinking.
وبعضهم
We
أساتذة
also
جامعات
have
هم الآن يعملون
teachers,
على نشر
school
هذا الفكر
teachers,
من خلال برامج
university
متطورة
teachers who
مع أحد
are
المؤسسات الوظيفية
implementing
اللي هي
programs
أعضاء
that were
من خلال
developed
برنامج أعد
with
خصوصا لهذا
international
المفهوم أن
organizations
نبتعد عن المسميات
in
السني والشيعي
order
والعربي
not
والكردي
to talk
نتخذ
about
أسلوب حديث
Shia,
وهو
Muslim,
الفراتوبيا
Arab,
أسماء فاكهة
but to
يعني كانت تطلق على
talk about
مجموعات وهذه
fruits, and
المفاهيم
these
الجديدة
fruits
بدأت تأخذ يعني
are
مسار عمل في
reflecting
أكثر من
groups
محافظة. اليوم
in
هنا البرنامج
communities. So we
يطبق
have
في
been
إقليم
working
كردستان
on
من
this
قبل نفس
program,
المؤسسة
and
اللي هي
this program
هاردواير
is
لكن
being
من خلال
implemented
بعض
by
المنظمات العاملة في
Hardwire, the
إقليم كردستان.
international organization
هذا
in
النشاط
Kurdistan.
يحتاج
And
إلى
so
أن يكون هناك
we
توسيع في
need
مساره
to expand and
دعم
promote
موجود
this
لكي يستمر لأن
activity
يصل
and to
إلى
provide
أبعد
support
نقطة
to
وإلى
this
أكثر
activity
مساحة
in order to reach better outcomes and in order to have a more eliminated elite that will confront terrorism and extremism that have undermined our culture. And so we want this to be implemented. We want to stop migration of diversity from the city. And so this experience is in our guide number 1 with the forum. You can look at it because I don't have a lot of time to enter into details. But of course, we have challenges in our work. We have challenges related to religion. We have a reserve as per a collaboration with our institution, and we need to find targets, and we need to clarify several points. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Luis. It's so good to hear from your experience, and especially the point that you made about diversity, right, which obviously is very important in the Iraqi context. We'll go over to Sausan now and hear from Sausan, and then after that we'll have time for questions or comments. Sausan, if you would just like to share some of your reflections on the work of the Middle East Hub, specifically on meal and faith, and your thoughts on that, please. Yeah.
طبعا شكرا إن شاء الله. شكرا أستاذ لويس.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lewis. In fact, he has clarified a lot of points. However, I will talk in brief. I want to say that as an organization, we have started to work with religious actors, and very soon we will launch initiative if we get funding from international organizations. We have seized the opportunity of calling faith actors to our conference
يكون لنا مؤتمر مع رجال الدين لتوضيح الصورة
in order to clarify the image they have of the organization. And we have a long discussion with faith actors, decision makers, community leaders. We have exerted efforts in order to clarify to them that we as organizations want to serve the communities, want to enhance human rights. Your idea about our work is wrong. We have tried to clarify with evidence and proof what we are doing, and we had a lot of meetings. We were able to change some bad ideas they have about our organization. It was not a 100% success, of course, but we could change somehow their bad ideas, and we invited them to several conferences, and they were responding, and they were attending, listening, communicating with us, and so we started the first step of success. We started to change their bad ideas about our organization. And if God wants, in the future, they will be part of all our activities in order to raise awareness about meal and faith.
تعرفون كليتكم يعني أنه إحنا
You all
بالعراق تقريبا
know
كل
that
المحافظات
in Iraq and
تقريبا
all
متشابهة
provinces
في
or all provinces are
عاداتها
quite
وتقاليدها.
similar with regard to
أنا
customs and
بالنسبة لي أسكن
traditions.
في
And
محافظة وفي مدينة هي
I
مدينة
live
دينية
in
وعشائرية
a
في نفس
very
الوقت،
religious
فما
and
كان من
tribal
السهولة إنه إحنا
city,
نقنع
and it's
علماء
not
الدين
very
إنه
easy to
النساء
persuade faith
وتعمل
actors that
كمنظمات وتسافر
women
بوحدها
can work in
إلى دول أخرى أو
organizations, can
محافظات
travel
أخرى وتكون
alone
متواجدة
abroad to
بالشارع
other countries, to
في
other
أوقات
governorates,
يعني مختلفة.
to be
ف
present in the streets
يعني
in
أتصور
different
إنه إحنا
timings.
قدرنا نتخطى
And so
مرحلة
we
كلش
were
صعبة
able to overcome a very difficult
ونحصل فد
stage,
نتيجة حلوة
and
في
we
مدة مو
achieved a
يعني كلش
positive outcome
كبيرة.
in
إن شاء
a
الله
very
إنه
short
إحنا
time. And
مستمرين
so
وما
we
نتوقف.
hope that in the future we
شكرا
will
لكم.
be moving forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sausan. Again, also really, really good to hear about your experience and your reflections on the work. We now have just under 15 minutes for questions, for comments, for discussion. So I would invite everyone in the group. You can ask your questions in English, in Arabic. We do have the interpretation, so language barrier should not be a big problem. Can you please raise your hand? If you click on the reactions, then you should see the raise your hand button. And if you do that, then we can see who would like to speak. It's just going to help us. Is there anyone who has a question or who would like to share some reflections, maybe maybe a response to what Mohammed, Sausan, and Louis have shared?
عفوا ست أريد أضيف إنه إحنا
I would like
اليوم
to add that
نشتغل على
we
مبادرة
today
لمنع
want to
التطرف
work on
العنيف.
an initiative to put an
هذه
end
المبادرة
to
أيضا
a
راح نشترك
violent
بها رجال الدين،
extremism, and
فأعتقد هاي الخطوة
faith
يشجعوني
actors will
عليها.
be also part of this initiative.
Thank you so much, Sausan. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anyone else?
شكرا.
Thank you.
Mohammed, yes, Mohammed Abu Hilal, please.
Yeah, actually, thank you for Louis and Sausan to give some information about their work. And actually, this is what I meant when I talked about so faith-based organizations have a lot of things actually that they are involved in. So this is reflect the challenge to work specifically with the Imani in faith actors. And actually, I want to hear, any reflection or ideas, actually, even from you, Jennifer, about this challenge, because maybe when you planned the proposal and the idea, there was some, there's objectives for that. But in reality, it's more complex. But still, we are, want to discuss so we can see how can we achieve, but also get some lesson learned, so to move forward. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mohammed. Michelle, did you want to reply to Mohammed's question? Maybe you have so much experience in this area, so I just hand over to you.
Actually, my thoughts were really related to what Mohammed shared. I was so interested in Mohammed's reflections about, the difficulty of defining faith actors in context and how sometimes that definition can be overly narrow. And also the question about what does it mean to focus on faith and meal as opposed to focusing on a broader, or who knows, maybe even a narrower aspect of the work. And I just I think that's worth so much exploration. I feel like we face in some ways similar challenges with terms and framings in many different contexts, but the nuance of why we struggle with them in different contexts is different. So it's just so much worth unpacking. And when it comes to that question of is meal a narrow focus, you know, when it comes to exploring the role of faith, my thought and reflection is, I guess it partly depends a lot on how we understand meal, you know, and that can differ very much from person to person, organization to organization, context to context. But I can see both, you know, meal as a very narrow exercise, but I can also see it as very broad when I think of meal as just the mindset or the discipline of thinking about the effects of our work. Thinking about whether our efforts are having the intended effect. Is it working? You know, that's a much broader question. So when I think of it in that broad sense, I see lots of potential for exploration. But yeah, it's a nuanced topic, so I don't want to ramble too much, but I think what you're saying is really worth unpacking, and I'm further interested in unpacking what we all mean by meal.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Michelle. This actually reminds me of some conversations that I had with Nobuyuki and his team in Japan. When we at JLI, we were doing research on meal and faith. We worked on the meal compendium, right? The publication that I mentioned earlier, where we included case studies of different organizations and how they approached meal. And Nobuyuki's organization, the Soka Gakkai International, which is a Buddhist, organization that's based in Japan. We wanted to include them as one of the case studies. So I reached out to Nobuyuki and his colleague, and I said to him, can you tell me about how you approach meal? And Nobuyuki and his colleagues, they looked at me and they said, how do we approach what, please? And it was so interesting to hear that, that there was this framework that we had, that we had in our work and that we wanted to know more about. But when we took it to partners who worked in a different context and had different approaches, at first it didn't really make so much sense for them. And we could have stopped the organization there and we could have said, okay, this is just not relevant to Nobuyuki's organization. But we didn't do that, and we continued speaking. And then it turned out that Soka Gakkai International, they actually have their own ways of assessing the effectiveness of work, right? And they have their own ways of learning and sharing experiences. So I think there's also sometimes there's benefit in not getting intimidated by these big terms, and especially terms also that often come from Western context and that were developed in Western as Western frameworks, right? But we often have similar things or things that can achieve the same or even better things that actually our organizations and our communities might already be using. Nobuyuki, I'm not sure. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to share anything about that, please feel free to do so.
What I shared with her, Jennifer, is that we are putting emphasis on our discussion meetings and also sharing the face experiences or what they achieved in their daily lives, and we are giving comment or feedback or encouragement to each other. So it would be very different from the Western style of meal, but yeah, we could reflect ourselves and improve ourselves. So yeah, I believe that there are many different ways. Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Nobuyuki. And the case study of Nobuyuki's organization is included in the Meal and Face Compendium, and I can put that in the chat in a moment. But in the meantime, let me hand over to Yasir, who also has his hand up. Yasir, please go ahead.
شكرا لكم جميعا.
Thank you so much for giving me the floor. I would like to share my experience with the clerics or faith actors. In 2022, we had a project implemented in Samurai in Salah ad-Din Governorate, and faith actors have played a major role in the program of building peace. We have also involved the youth through several meetings, dialogues with the communities and with the youth. Also, we have raising awareness campaigns in cultural cities in Samurai, because these regions attract visitors from all other governorates and from different categories. We wanted to send and convey a peace message to Iraqis and also to foreign countries.
خلاص أستاذ ياسر؟
خلاص.
That's it, Mr. Yasser. Yes, this is what I wanted to say.
Jennifer, are you talking?
Jennifer?
Yeah, okay. Yes,
Back
yes.
to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yasir. Thank you so much. It's so good to hear from all of you.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to hear from all of you and from all the very, very important work that you're doing and in so many different parts of the world. So we just have 2 minutes, well, 1 minute now left until the end of the meeting. Mohammed, Mira is also there. Mohammed, Mira, Mira is the coordinator of the Middle East Hub, and Mohammed is one of the co-chairs. I think I leave the last word to you, in case you wanted to share any final words with the group before we break up.
Mira, do you want to talk?
Muhammad, please go on, and then I can wrap it up.
No, actually, I wanted to bring up the very important point, actually, that it would be interesting to discover it in all faiths, actually, and this is good opportunity that we have people from different around the world. Actually, what I found in organization is they talk about 3 types of accountability. So they talk about accountability to beneficiaries, accountability to organization, and accountability to donors. And I think one most important aspect is 4th type of accountability, which is accountability to Allah or God or transcendental entity, whatever it is. And I think this is could have a very powerful impact on the way projects can be implemented. But unfortunately, it's been being missed by the mainstream humanitarian work. And I think this is a specific point of M&E that can be brought up by faith actors and activated and showcase that how increasing or focusing on this point can have impact on the work of these organizations. So maybe this is in the future we can, I am interested to hear actually from the point of view from all faiths around the world about how do they see this point actually in their work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad. Maybe this is a topic to be discussed all alone. As I recall, also we discussed it in a way in our meeting in Turkey. How did we discuss it? It's because how to bring the faith in general to our projects, and how to implement it from a faith-based point of view. Because most of the times, and even with donors and partners, we find a big problem, which is how to implement faith and how to be true to our faith through the projects that we are implementing. And most of the times it's very challenging because the partners, even though they are mostly faith-based organizations, they can have different ideas and different point of views and different ways of implementing it. So a certain specificity of the Middle East region is how much faith is present in our projects and how much we look up to it whenever we are implementing those projects, because faith is our guiding line, is our primary guiding line. So this is how we work. So yeah, this is it for me. I'm happy to see all of you. Thank you, Jennifer, for facilitating the meeting. As my colleagues and fellows have already shared, we will be sharing with you soon enough our first guide, and then the second guide and the third guide, where everything is mentioned, all the case studies of the Middle East in details, so you can have access to it and you can share it with your networks. And again, I'm really happy if you feel okay with it, and no one has anything to add. Maybe we can take a group picture together with those who are left, so we can keep it for the memory. Yeah.
1 second, I'm trying to open myself.
And another one, there's Muhammad Al-Kasabi.
Yeah,
Your
just one
camera is
second.
off. Yeah,
Trying to open it.
no worries. So this is, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
I wish you a lovely day, good night, good evening, and we will remain in touch. We will be sending you also the link for the recording in case you want to share it with your networks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.